How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. One of the practices that my own path of emotional recovery has taught me is that of reparenting, or the practice of learning how to provide for ourselves the support and the loving guidance that we might not have received growing up in an alcoholic or otherwise dysfunctional household. I've shared quite a few times about my father and about how he came home from World War II with an extreme case of PTSD. It wasn't referred to that at the time, and so I was always taught that he had an emotional disability, and it was 100%. He could not hold a job because of it. So he was highly unstable. And when he would get triggered, he would slam things, he would swear. But his preferred choice of coming at the world when he was in that state was shrieking. He would get very loud and his voice would take on a high, piercing quality. And it was like getting punched in the face every time he yelled. It was something that affected me on a deeply physical level. My mother apparently too, because the two of us would go out of our way not to set my father off. The trick was we never really knew what that trigger would be, and so we were constantly checking the terrain and seeing how my father was and paying attention to small details, and I learned how to be hyper vigilant because of that. Owing to that fear that I had of my father yelling and shrieking the way he did, one of the things that developed out of that as I got older was an extreme case of brontophobia. I would sit in the car during fireworks displays, I would shake, I would cry sometimes. But it was really expressed during thunderstorms, even into my early teens. If there was a chance of a thunderstorm, I would run to the couch, I would lay down, I would wrap my head in a pillow, and I would lay there and shake until the storm was over. And this went on for quite a few years until an incident occurred that broke me of that. We went down to visit a cousin of mine named Walt, who I loved dearly. Walt was many years older than I was, and I just loved him. The sun rose and set in him. I saw him as an older brother, and man, whatever he said was the gospel truth. And there was going to be this thunderstorm that day, and I was starting to get a little nervous, and he said, "You know what? Let's go sit out on the porch in the middle of the storm. It's one of those things that I really love to do." And I was scared shitless, but I went because it was Walt. And we sat out on the porch and we talked about music and we just talked a little bit about life. I don't know, maybe I was 15, 16 at the time. And all of a sudden the storm started. And our conversations got deeper. And I started to feel a sense of peace come over myself. And I even began to notice something. The lightning was blue. I was used to white or pink lightning, and I asked him about that, and he said, "Yeah, we sometimes get that down here. I'm not quite sure what causes that." And the thunder got louder, and by the end of that night, I was laughing at the thunder, and I was disappointed when the storm stopped. To this day, I love severe thunderstorms. I love severe weather. The windier, the more intense, the more I want to be out in it. And it seems to me that maybe that's what reparenting is all about. Taking those wounded parts of us, those wounded children, by the hand, walking with them out into the middle of the storm, and letting them see that it's all going to be okay. that it's just noise, and that they can stand there and live through it and come out the other side. Till next time.